Shawn Clement here from the Richmond Hill Golf Learning Center, home base for wisdom in golf. And we're interjecting a nice little video between shows. So the way things are going to work in the new year, 2014, we're approaching the final days of, we're in December right now. This is the week of December 17. And so we're going to do a nice show on shank updates. And we've had some fabulous breakthroughs with a lot of my students. They'd go out and they do really well, and then all of a sudden the shanks come in, and you know how that goes. You get really afraid of performing those shanks again, and things go, south in a hurry. So here are some things that I want you to really look out for, and I got some really juicy stuff for you right here to help you nip that in the bud really quickly, okay? So, number one, when you hit the ball in the hosel, we get set up. We want, number one, if you go to my, the title of the video is a posture update, okay? So we talk about how we want to get forward enough so that we're over the ground and we feel that we can cut a nice section of grass in front of us. So you notice how my arms and club are in front of me. And then you're going to go to another video entitled Battering Ram. So, if I'm a SWAT officer and I got my battering ram and I want to bust through a door frame right here, I'm going to bend forward enough so this battering ram is hanging under my shoulders, and now I feel like the battering ram can swing under my shoulders in front of my body. If I'm not in proper posture, it feels like that battering ram is going to fall into me, and I'm just going to catch myself Charlie horse myself with this thing. So I got to be forward enough so it can swing freely in front of my body and under my shoulders, and now it can glide beautifully through that door frame. So that's number one. I need to have that right posture. Number two, when you're shanking the ball, your focus is very much on the contact with the golf ball, and that's a big, big problem. So now that I've got the right posture to get through the ball, when I'm swinging, my attention really has to be out toward the target. So if we go back to, you'll see a video entitled Fishing in Golf. If I'm going fishing this way, use the net return here as a background to position the butt of the club. So if I go cast the fishing pole there, so you notice I'm releasing the fishing pole there, look at where the butt of the club is passing right up here. It's passing right about there. Now I put a ball there and I want the ball to be in the way of my cast toward the target. I'm not going to go there first and then go forward. So you notice there's me going to the target and there's me going for the ball. Notice that's a lot higher than what I had here. So if I'm going through this net to a little poster in the background here, so I'm going to put my attention on that poster that's just sticking out of the rear wall, and I'm going to cast my fishing line that way. So here we go in slow motion. Fold hinge, I'm loaded. Now I'm going to go cast my fishing pole. So you notice how I got lots of room under my shoulders in front of my body. My arms are fitting beautifully in front of my body. Casting my fishing pole out there. So observe where the club passes when I do that. It passed right here. So now I bring that to the ball. If I go for the ball, if my attention goes to the ball, what happens is when your brain sees a golf ball and you don't tell the brain, listen, we're doing something different. I know there's a golf ball there, but our purpose is to swing to the target. Now, if I swing toward the target, did I crush that thing? So that was extremely well struck. You notice how the club passed in the same spot. But if I go toward the ball, did you see that? Everything, instead of extending toward the target, everything extended at the ball. So notice I'm way beyond the ball. So now I've got a choice. I have to come back toward the ball this way and pull it to the left. That's the same issue as a shank. If I pull across the ball with the longer clubs, I'll tend to slice it out to the right. So a slice to the right with the long clubs, a pull to the left with a short club, you're that far from shanking the ball. And other situations, you're going to stick it in the ground because you've got way too much extension going on here. So now, also, I'll have to stand up. So watch what happens when I stand up. Look familiar? So when you're going after the ball, you have to stand up. If you stand up too much, you'll top it. If you don't stand up enough, you'll shank it. So that's quite the predicament right now, right? So you're opening up this massive can of worms by just going for the ball. So if you go to my particular video entitled Perfect Contact Every Time, then there we go. I'm extending my action that way. If I extend my action that way, I'm all set. So when I'm looking down at the ball, I'm seeing the stem of the dandelion. My attention, though, however, is out there. So I'm predicting if I release out there, cast my fishing pole out there, the sole of the club is going to cut the dandelion stem. So I don't see a ball. I see something that I'm cutting through on my way to the target. So here it goes. Beautiful cut through there. Fantastic contact. Now here's one particular little drill that really helped out. Set up to a T. And what I want you to do, barely at the edge of the T right here, see how the sole, the toe of the club is just nicking the T? So I'm just going to whip the golf club. And notice how I'm just missing the T. For many of you, especially when you get a little too close to the ball. So one of the things that we talk about in that posture update is we build the machine first and then bring that to the ball. And notice how my arms are in front of me. Many of you go straight to the ball and then try to take your posture. You're too close to the ball. Gravity's going to pull you here. You gotta come right back into your body so that you don't miss the ball. And also, if the ball is not in your way of releasing to the target, the ball becomes a target. It's very easy to default to the ball. So get your posture first. Bring it up to the edge of the tee and just practice whipping to a target and feel like when you do, you're just going to graze the edge of the tee. So your eyes are on the tee and your attention is on grazing the edge of the tee. So you put a ball next to it. And then now I'm just going to, my eyes are on the tee and I can see that the edge of the club is just going to nick the tee. So I'm going to go ahead and whip the club through and feel like it's just going to nick the edge of the tee. You're going to start hitting some amazing, really well-powered, solid contact shots by changing what your eyes see. So it takes your eyes off the ball. The focus is now on clipping just the edge of the tee. You're going to hit some very solid shots doing that. So a couple of things, a couple of short circuits that I want to touch on to finish. So number one, the way you see things is one thing. And anytime you have any issues with direction or contact, it's centering. So we talked about the center of the swing being, so if I only had one arm, the center of this swing would be my shoulder socket. I put both arms together, the center of that swing is the sternal notch. So I get into my posture, and the swing itself revolves around that sternal notch, but if my center of gravity, now the point where my body pivots around is the centermost point of my body where I have equal weight up and down, front to back, and side to side. So if this point moves forward, I know many of you tend to, as you go back, you tend to use your arms. Your arms get a little too far inside, and as your arms get too far inside, something has to go forward to counterbalance you. So you see what happens? Now my center of gravity is moving forward. So when the center of gravity moves forward, whoops, now I'm beyond the ball, working my way back. So it's extremely easy to shank the ball when your center of gravity moves around. So use the feet together drill. Feel how the weight stays on the inside of your feet back and through, and you'll notice that the center of the body has to stay in place. Notice when my arms go into the backswing, the butt swivels toward the target, and you see how both my knees are rotating together. So my center of gravity stays intact on top of my legs. When I go feet apart, I want to feel exactly the same thing. So if I'm swinging towards you, notice how my center of gravity stays intact. If I go too far inside, my knee moves forward, you can see how everything falls forward. So that's a major short circuit. Now the ball is no longer in the way of you swinging to the target, and you're going to have a really hard time making solid contact because all of your attention is going to get ripped off the target, and now you have to go for the ball because you feel like you're going to miss it. When you stay intact, swing back and through. So that takes care of your posture and the center of gravity, and then the direction is taken care of by gravity placing the club. So notice how the arms are not swinging behind me. Everything stays in front of me. So go to arms and body timing. Have a good look at that. And then from there, once we have that, we got to take your focus off the ball itself. Every time you present your brain with a ball, the brain goes, oh, I know what you want me to do. You want me to hit the ball. You got to tell your brain, no, we have a different game going on. So you got to replace that game of trying to hit the ball to cutting the dandelion stem or flicking across the tee. So the toe of the club is going to miss the tee. Toe of the club is missing the tee. I feel like I'm going to cut the dandelion stem if I release to my target, so I'm going to throw the club to the target. When I do, it feels like I'm going to cut through it. So I hope you enjoyed that. And we're definitely going to do this in future shows for our live shows. So on Google+, Matt is going to be posting this on our forum, so stay tuned with our forum. Go to wisdomingolf.com, get registered on my website. And don't hesitate to get my 2013 video series. It is really, really awesome. If you haven't done that yet, please do. And then we'll see you on the live shows. And, feel free to ask some questions on the live shows or on the forum. See you soon.